It's time to show you today's journal. It's Laura from Hyperstamper. This is about to go on to my Etsy shop, hyperstamper.etsy.com, where everything in my shop is free shipping in North America. So the price you see is the price you pay, and everything that I use in my journals is authentic. I don't use any commercial products. So every piece of paper in here is authentic, antique, and vintage ephemera. This is a beautiful book from 1912, and it's called the High School Boys Canoe Club, and it's got this beautiful image on the front with the tent on an island, the trees, the sunset, the water, and the canoe, and it's beautiful. So I framed that with this beautiful antique crochet piece here that I wrapped all the way around to the back. And I added some more vintage crochet bits from a doily up here, a vintage brooch, a dragonfly. It was broken when I got it, so there's no pin, but you could peel that off and attach a pin if you like. There's a removable full necklace here, which is really pretty, very fine. Another vintage silver chain there, and some vintage beads that I've restrung. And that's the only piece there that's not old, is that little bit on the bottom. But I love it. I think it's beautiful. Let's take a look inside. It's got the original first pages here, and they're very brittle. So if one were to pop off in any of my journals, just tuck them right back into one of the many, many pockets and tuck spots in my journals. Lots of hidden places in here to find and keep your own special things. That's the original first plate of the book and the original first page of the book. This is a vintage black and white botanicals page, and I put in there a little 1950s pearl shop receipts. I still have lots of those left. I found another 3 booklets a few months ago, so that's phew. Here's some birch bark because I thought that was good for canoeing, and then a rowboat here from a vintage dictionary. And that is the inside of a book spine. When I pulled it off, I found that underneath, so it was pretty cool. This is a really nice piece from the 1920s. This one is how to make a basket purse. And I've got a nice little cluster up here, a 1939 front page of a storybook for kids. Or sorry, 1944. It was copyrighted in 39. And then this little pocket here is made from a 1921 Etude magazine with soap, facial soap. I just thought it was really pretty. And then inside here is from 1909. It's a handwritten with the old pen and quill, or ink and quill, and music. So this would have been a lesson, allegretto, and I would love to know what it sounds like. So if you're musical, you can play that and see what this young student wrote. How cool would that be? And then over here we have this beautiful antique plate from How to Make a Garden from 1904 or 5. Sorry, I'm not sure exactly which one, but it's old. Another one of these wonderful 1944 book pages, Friendly Village. Aren't they great? Look at that. And then this is another one of these things to make and do from the 1920s. There. And a fun cluster up here of stamps and stamp collecting pages, botanicals, 1950s children's book page here. And this is just a little piece that I pulled out of a book here, and I just thought it was really cool. So isn't that neat? And you can journal on those. Just really beautiful. And then this is another ink and quill handwritten piece here on a news article from 1860, and we think that this was written in the early 1900s. So somebody went back and hand wrote what was in the news article from 1868. Neat. More vintage pages here, and then this wonderful plate from a children's book, and this is from the 1920s. I put some antique paper on the back so that you could journal on it. And then there's a little hidden spot there, and a little hidden spot here. And then this is a plate from an art book on Renoir from the 1950s, and it's just this lovely little plate here. I think it's spectacular. It's frameable. This is a 1955 American Road Maps page here, and I put a little vintage mini dictionary page on there, and this came from a 1940s women's magazine, so it's got some crafts there to make. And that's a Florida page there, and then this one here, Columbia. Okay, good. This is from the 1930s. It was not filled in, and that is a committee's attendance log page. This is a spine from this book from 1912, and I turned it into a belly band. We've got Georgia and Atlanta down there. And this is from Demarest's Family Magazine from the 1800s, 1892 to be exact. It's got this lovely image down here, the summer moon, and then these beautiful pieces of art on the back. And it's in a lot of these pages were crumbling, but this one's actually in really good condition. So those, because they're more than 100 years old, you can actually replicate those. This is just from an antique book here. A beautiful, the first garden, very, very lovely. World map here from a vintage book. This is from the pre-1905 from Woodworking, and the photography is beautiful in this for such an old book. Just a little journaling tag here underneath this very old book page here, and just some extra journaling space here. And this is a wonderful, look at this happy woman buffering her floor. Oh my god, electric polisher, just too funny. Great pocket here with an old book image. And then this here is from Career and Ives plate book from 1902. Isn't that a lovely one? I should have put that in my wedding journal, but anyways, goes in here today. This is another 1930s children's book page. It's on that lovely fuzzy cardstock that I love. Here we go here, and that's just, I'm trying to read it here. It says, "Now then, Jean," cried Tommy. And then this here is a wonderful children's book page from a music book, La Vidalita. Put some antique paper on the back as well. And then here is a carriage from a vintage dictionary page. And over here is a postcard from the early 1900s of a public library. You remember those? You know, where people used to go to read, not on their phones. A wonderful book here from the 1930s, children's book. More of that wood book there. And I put this wonderful large doily on here, and I made one side into a pocket and used this 1920s page back here for the base of this journaling card. Isn't that fun? I like it a lot. Another fun little children's book page here, tin tubbing. And they used to take their baths in tin tubs. 1950s receipt here from a bakery. And vintage children's book, school book page, vintage recipe book page. This is from the 1920s. The boys making a birdhouse. And look at this awesome plate here. That is a scene from Connecticut, courtesy of the Art Extension Press. It's gorgeous. Look at how beautiful that is. Again, you could take that out and frame it. It's so pretty. And this is blank recipe page book from a vintage recipe book. And this is some vintage stamps, international, and one antique, I think, in there. And that is a vintage glassine envelope. And this is from 1925, this little German banknote. And all that's mounted on top of this vintage botanical page. And these are some of the last pages of the book. Again, very brittle, but fun to have them in there. There we go. I hope you love it as much as I loved making it. Hyperstamper.etsy.com, and don't forget to subscribe. See you soon.